I've turned it on, thank you.
Okay, so yes, here we go. Yeah, so long story short, when I've written a lot of comedy, for me there is an obligation that you said as comedy, you're promising the audience. You're promising.
Lily, can we do two? Okay, I think that. Oh, I think yours is on now. Yeah.
I think mine turned off while I was speaking.
Things are going great.
All right.
Yes, it's on.
Talking. This feels a little on. I don't know. I feel like this whole thing has been a really good answer to the comedy hour question. When I write comedy, I felt like you need to deliver a certain amount of laughs, and there's sort of to me a structure to it. There's a history of comedy, and literally the word comedy comes from the word promos, which means happy ending. So there's a lot of comedy in dead media, but when I was writing it, I felt sort of free of some of the things I put on myself over the years of I'm writing a comedy. So I was focused on the characters, I focused on the horror, and a lot of the comedy that's in it, to me, just came out of that's how this older man obsessed with 99 would speak. That's how this young woman, who's fucking sick of this man, would speak. Here's how the movie from 1999 would go off the rails. Right. Here's how a character who met his own actor, so like a lot of stuff to me is very funny, but it was really free because I didn't think about whether it was funny or not. I just wrote what was true to me and true to the idea of the characters.
Speaking of 1999,
Yeah.
There's a lot of nostalgia for the 80s. This is one of the first things for my generation that feels like the 90s delivered. Why is the 90s important for you?
I think for me, like a lot of what Happy expresses comes from a very true place for me. I don't want to be trapped in 99 the way he is. But 99 was a really special time for me personally. Some things that Happy talked about in his monologue. I did have a Cobalt Blue Ford Fairmont car that I did knock down when I did have to. So there's some like really true things in it, but then also I think 99 is a powerful year because I think a lot of cinema people feel that it is one of the best years for cinema. It's really like the most impactful, huge things like The Matrix and The Phantom Menace, and then things that were kind of sleeper hits, or not, they're sleeper at the time, like Office Space and I Am Giant, that go on that like every film from 99 is like powerful and relevant. So there's a cinema connection. And then I think another thing that we may be losing over time is how weird it felt to be alive in 1999. Like the Y2K bug was real, and just talented people actually made it go away, but it was a legitimate concern, and there was lots of talk of like, what's it going to be like in this new millennium? There's even like jokes, and, Scream from 1996 about it's the millennium, motivations are incidental, so there's just all this stew around 99, like this weird moment of change, and that was the exact right age where, for me, it was really the true, like, stepping into adulthood freshman year.
And with this film, there's a lot of people stuck in certain ages, stuck with certain families. Did you have Uncle Happy? Somebody that pushed participant beyond you?
Yeah, I kind of had a lot of Uncle Happies, but they were my friend group in 99. I'm close with all of them still now. But I was a big genre guy. I love genre, but they all, right? The friends were like, hey, you gotta get this DVD. Here's what's hidden on it. Here's the movie you haven't seen. Here's why aspect ratios are important. And if I ever see you watch the Canon Scan thing again, I'll murder you. Like, I had a lot of older brother figures, and a lot of them found their way into Uncle Happy.
Canon Scan's a dirty word.
It is.
We get a lot of people that love physical media. What about you? What's some of your favorites? Obviously, you and I have had this conversation multiple times, so I'm excited to hear you talk about Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks is one of my very favorites. That was a really powerful experience. There was a VHS box set that came out in like 1993. Didn't have the pilot. There were rights issues, but other than that, it was the first time like, I love this and I can have all of it in my home at once. I can watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that was really powerful. The first DVD I bought was the box set of Scream. Lots of different, one that I haven't talked, I don't think I've talked to you about, I haven't talked about a lot, which actually influenced this strangely, is the box set of the second season of 24. It's very specific. I love that show. My friends like checked out the first season when it was on and like, this is awesome. And then they taped it off via VHS off the television. We had a party. then the next season came out. It was like, we've got it on DVD now. It's so fancy, so great. But the reason that it relates to this is I was going through a difficult time and I didn't want to deal with it. And so we had like a slumber party, watched all of 24, and I did the Uncle Happy to some of my friends, like, we're not leaving to watch every bonus feature of the entire season 2 of 24. And I didn't quite process until after that, but like, watching the actual thing was fun. And then when I was watching the bonus features, I started to feel kind of tired and dirty because I was yeah, I was using them to escape.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of us still do, and now we get the joy of being able to use a film you made to escape reality. But I'm real curious, because I'm sure you haven't had this experience to be able to answer this question yet. You're touring the country with a film that you made. What's been one of your favorite stops so far?
Like every stop has been really good. One of my favorites was there's this theater in Philadelphia called Philomoka, and it is in, they say it's a mausoleum, but it's in a showroom where they used to sell mausoleums and tombstones. Like, you're in the market for a tombstone? Come on down!
Those aren't the same things.
They're not the same thing. But it's in the neighborhood where David Lynch lived that inspired Razorhead, so they have a lot of connections to that. So that was really special to me. And then a lot of the places we've been going, the coolest thing is seeing all these incredibly different indie theaters, from this to like a little living room micro cinema to Planet Alamo Draft House. And everywhere we go, there's a community who comes out to this in particular because they love that theater or they love physical media. It's been really powerful to go to these different places, see a little bit of different culture, a little bit of different in-jokes, but this real connection that movies and physical media and physically going to the theater is about community, and that's why it fucking matters. That's like been the best.
When I first saw this movie 7-8 months ago, which I've now seen it like 12 times, there's one thing that stuck with me, and that is the scene where we talk about getting an education from the bonus features. We've got all kinds of stuff that people can buy tonight. What's something that was an actual educational part for you? What's your favorite bonus feature that you watched growing up and you think back, God, that commentary spoke so much to me?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different things, but the one that it wasn't like so like, oh, this is deep and meaningful, but it was almost the opposite experience of the 24 box set. I had that Scream box set, and it had, like, I think Scream 3 had a commentary track that was just the production designers. And like, there was just like a lot of, I started watching it like, what are you doing, man? Just being a completionist. And then it was just like these incredibly talented women going, this is why we put that book in the back of Sydney's fake bedroom in Scream 3. And it's like, god damn, like just the layers. There's one on Attack the Clones, same thing, that's mostly about the sound design, and it's also about these two great women who did all the Foley. And there's, they make these great squelching sounds for some of the monsters. And there's a scene of the two of them kissing their hands for the sound effects of Anakin and Padme kissing. And that was sort of like, wow, look at all these cool people who do all of these little things that are so important to the film. That was great.
You mentioned layers. This film has its own Inception-esque layers. Was there any moment that got maybe out of hand, or where you maybe confused yourself while filming because you had to change like the resolution of certain things? You had to have skipping, you had to go in and out, and how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, by the time that we did the filming, I had done like 17 drafts, and I am an over note taker, so I had taken so many notes, and I tried to give so much information to the crew, and the crew was kind of like, just tell us on the day, man, because we can't keep track of this. I had a file that was called Door Agreement, and that was the thing that was really too far for people, because I had gone to my dad's house in the theater and said, this scene has to happen here, because the dining room door opens this way, and where the reader's interview is happening opens this way, so it's gotta be there. And people were just like, tell us on the day. We don't want to hear about Door Agreement, man.
The home, you mentioned this briefly in the intro, was your childhood home.
Yeah.
And any part of this that's weird, seeing that up on screen and touring the country, watching everybody go, that's your bedroom.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually been really great because somebody asked me if the house was haunted now, and it's actually like the opposite, because I moved into that house when I was about 13, and I stayed there all the way through college, which I regret staying through college, and there's some really good times in the house, but there were some really shitty times in the house. And at different points, I told my dad, like, just get rid of that house. Just get rid of that. I kind of had a negative attitude about the house. And then I needed a house, and he offered it. And it was almost like an exorcism of like, I love that house now. Because I went through this experience with the cast and crew. I went through that experience with my dad. And I adore the house, and I adore getting to see it.
Well, it could have been the house that's on, but it's the disc. So, in the future, you and I get to work together on an actual disc release. Obviously, that's one of the most important aspects of this film, that it had to be on disc. What are you excited to see people see on the disc eventually?
Yeah, I'm really excited to do a whole fun facts version. It's just little fun facts that pop up. One of the things I'm most excited about is we shot all of the Night of the Lurker scenes first, then I edited them, and then they got burned on an actual DVD, so the actors are watching a real DVD. But the actual scenes I edited are longer. Like the scene early on where the Lurcher is grabbing the man's head and he is screaming, that's like 4 minutes long. Just my friend screaming. It's so good, and I can't wait to put all those on this.
I can't wait for you to see it. What do you think of Dead Media, man? Any questions, Joseph? Anything you want to ask? All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, Joseph. Thanks for coming to Kansas City. This is such a special thing. Thanks everybody for coming out to Atlas9.
Yeah. Last thing to say is letterbox reviews are super, super important for indie films. So if you enjoyed it, please do write a letterbox review on the program that you got on the back. There's an extremely large, not subtle QR code that will lead you right to the letterbox page for Dead Media. And Katie and I will be hanging out with the Dead Media merch over there for a few minutes. So if you want to say hello or ask any questions, please do. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.